Greetings, YouTubers and live videoers. It's me, Wayman29. Um, had some time, so I figured I'd come on and talk about some stuff. Today, I was going to run a comparison on the speech of Yahweh out of the whirlwind from Job 38. And whenever the gods give a speech, they do a pretty good job. So that goes on down to chapter 41 of Job, and it's one of my favorite speeches of Yahweh out of the Tanakh. Um, Here we have Job. He wants to put Yahweh on trial, and his friends come over to try to help him out. And from my point of view, his three friends represented three different kinds of views that were floating around at the time on theology and how they thought about the gods and theology at that time. And they were trying to explain to him why bad things happen to good people. And in the end, we realized that bad things just happen to good people for no reason. So, after Job goes through this huge thing, how he wants to put God on trial in the heavenly council, um, Yahweh addresses him out of the whirlwind, and he asks him a question, which is pretty awesome. I think he asks him, "I'll ask you a question and you will answer me," and then he goes on to ask a series of questions that, because Job is not part divine or as the gods, he does not know, which tells Job that knowing all those things is not a priority of man. It's reserved for the gods. So it's an awesome speech. If you take that and you compare that to the speech of Utnapishtim to Gilgamesh, it ends up being pretty awesome because it's the same subject matter. And so if you get a chance to read Job, I'm gonna read Gilgamesh here really quick. Here he meets Utnapishtim after he makes the long travel through the darkness after his friend Enkidu dies, and he goes to the source because he wants to ask Utnapishtim how he came about and was granted life eternal by the council of the gods. Utnapishtim survived the flood, and he talks to Gilgamesh about it. So here we have the exchange. O Father Utnapishtim, who had entered the assembly of the gods, I wish to question you concerning the living and the dead. How shall I find life for which I am searching? Utnapishtim said, There is no permanence. Do we build a house to stand forever? Do we steal a contract to hold for all time? Do brothers divide an inheritance to keep forever? Does the flood time of waters endure? It is only the nymph of the dragonfly who sheds her larva and sees the sun in his glory. From the days of old there is no permanence. The sleeping and the dead, how alike they are. They are like painted death. What is there between the master and the servant when both have fulfilled their doom? When the judges come together, and the mother of destinies, together they decree the fates of men. Life and death they allot, but the day of death they do not disclose. So, it's pretty interesting how they view it. Later, Utnapishtim tells Gilgamesh the secret to find a plant which will grant him immortality as the gods. However, through his frailty, the serpent ends up stealing that from Gilgamesh. And just like in the Garden of Eden, where the tree of good and evil was eaten, over the tree of life, and Yahweh was concerned that they would eventually eat of the tree of life if not removed from the garden. So man was tossed. It just shows that in the ancient Near East, eternal life was not a priority of man. It was only reserved for the heavenly council and those people who they chose to allow to live. The biblical text, you got people like Elijah and Enoch, and of course in the ancient Near East, you have Utnapishtim and some others who were granted that special ability. However, everybody else, um, even Gilgamesh, who was 2/3 God, 1/3 man, still had to die. Which, if you take all that and you apply it to the idea of Christ, how he still had to face death and be allowed to go through that. If you take the two metaphors, the two motifs, and you compare them, there's a pretty interesting exchange there. So, just thought I'd throw that out there, what I'm thinking about. So, take care.